Prabhu from Memphis, Tennessee, India. Sorry, Memphis, Tennessee. And
India,
Prabhuji,
from India. From
you are from joining India, but you are from India.
no.
No. Yeah,
Yes.
I think we're going to travel to India, right, in March. So, yeah. So, okay, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavad Gita 1.2. First chapter, second verse. So, Prabhuji, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We'll read Shloka 2. Sanjay Uvacha Drishtva Tru Pandavanikyam Vanikam Yudam Duryodhanastadaha Acharyam Upasangamya Rajavachanam Abravit. Translation purport is given by Divine Yashesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu.
Krishna, all please mute your phone. Thank you.
Sanjay said, o king, after looking over the army arranged in the military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Purport. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjaya wanted therefore to encourage the despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of holy place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that the son, Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief, Dronacharya, to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician, but Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. This is the naked truth of this material nature. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupaka Dhamiyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shriyutapatakamalам Shri Gurunna Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shahe Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopecha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyam vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Gayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhika Talayate Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. So happy to come and take your association in this way. Really happy actually. Because The happiness is only in giving. Happiness is not in taking. Happiness is a natural tendency of the soul. Naturally, soul is Satchit and Ananda. And through this happiness, everything is perceived. Through happiness only, we come to the state of surrender. Through happiness only, we will really understand who Krishna is. Because those are the reciprocations, and those reciprocations begin through the process of hearing. When we hear attentively, under the guidance, then what happens is naturally, then our situations and circumstances, no matter in which situation we've been kept in, we will agree to that. Because we know Krishna is taking care of me. I have no other motives in this world. It is only that which is driving me. But here in this sloka, and even in the first sloka, it's very clearly reiterating that both Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, not Dhritarashtra, Dhritarashtra and Pandava and Pandu, they both belong to the same family, same lineage. But here, Dhritarashtra is telling, is differentiating that Mamaka Pandavascheva. This is a root cause of everything actually. Becoming a separatist is a root cause for everything. What are we separating? We are separating ourselves from others. Generally, this is a notion in this world. If somebody wants to put the other person down, what they will do, they will try to find faults. Here, Dhritarashtra want to put the family of Pandavas down. So that is the reason he first is separating, because if they are not separated, he has to give his property. He has to give his dynasty. So this I and mine is the most prominent thing. That is the reason why everything is nuclear families these days. We don't see joint families anymore. Even in India, we don't see joint families. America, forget about it. In India, we are not seeing joint families anymore. Why? This is the reason. Mamaka Pandavas Sheva. My sons, your sons. You stay away. This is my son, this is your son. Stay away. This is the problem actually. So why a question will naturally come in the consciousness that why this is like this? Why are we becoming a separatist? Why this is like this? Kind of an extremist. Why are we doing or behaving like this? Then it's a clear indication that that soul wanted to be happy. He doesn't know how to be happy, but he's trying to be happy. Dhritarashtra also want to be happy here. Through this endeavor, what he's trying to do is he want to be happy in this world. Happy Dhritarashtra. But his happiness is actually not the real happiness, because this is giving problems and troubles to the others. So who is thinking about others these days? But our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, if he did not thought about us, if he would have said, oh, okay, why me? There's so many, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had so many disciples, why only me? Why should I go to America? Or why should I preach in Western language, English language? There are so many people who can, I just go to Vrindavan and then chant Hare Krishna and come back to God. If he would have thought like that, dear devotees, today we wouldn't have, today we wouldn't have been sitting like this. All of us would have been in our beds sleeping. Jeev jago, jeev jago. We would have been sleeping and then, watching late night movies and then sleep until 10 in the morning if Srila Prabhupada didn't come into our lives. If he thought that why me, there's so many others, then this wouldn't have happened actually. So it begins through the desire of what? To serve our acharyas. When we have the desire, then we take every one of us, we will take the mode of servant of the servant, dasan das. This will please our spiritual master, dear devotees. When we do this, then they will be happy. When they are happy, automatically Krishna will be happy. There is no doubt about it. Through our happiness, Krishna might not be happy, but if you are trying to please our acharyas, if you are trying to please Srila Prabhupada, then Krishna will be immensely happy. The only thing which we shouldn't do is never fall prey to the politics. Never ever fall prey. Never ever do that. Duryodhana is doing this. Why am I telling all these things? Is because it is very apt in connection to our shloka. It is very apt in the connection of our shloka. What's happening in this particular shloka? Duryodhana is actually doing that. What is he doing? He's fearful. Why is he fearful? Because he's thinking that he might lose the battle. That is why he's trying to pull his different groups and then started telling that, oh, you do this, you do that, you become like this, you become like that, you should behave like this. Oh, he's trying to explain everything. Why? Because he wants to come out of that fearful situation, because he's thinking that he might lose the battle. Dhritarashtra's lamentation is also, Sanjaya realized that. Because Sanjay is who? He's a pure devotee, Vaishnava. A Vaishnava would realize the other person what's happening in his heart. So Sanjay could realize that what's happening in Dhritarashtra's consciousness. Because Dhritarashtra is kind of bewildered. He's thinking that what would happen to my sons? What would happen on the battlefield? What's happening there? What is Duryodhana doing? What are Pandavas doing? He's asking all these questions. He knows Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. What is this? This is Dharma Kshetra. Dharma Kshetra, who will win? Dharma will win. So who is the side of Dharma? Pandavas are on the side of Dharma because Krishna is there. Wherever Krishna is there, there is Dharma. Wherever Krishna is there, there is happiness. So Pandavas are there on that side. So he knows that there is we will eventually lose this. The Dhritarashtra is also getting an awareness. So that is the reason of this fearful state. As I said at the beginning, that this is a naked truth of this material nature. Yes, this is a naked truth. How? I will tell now. The naked truth is, if we do not have right shelter, dear devotees, what will happen is we will generally be fearful. Please try to understand. This is very, very important. Why fear comes into our consciousness? We should know. Because our dealings, because we really don't know where to take shelter, whom to take shelter, how to take shelter. So when we know where to take shelter, Krishna is my master, Krishna is my maintainer, Krishna is my controller. And then let me follow the instructions of my acharyas to the best of my ability. Because when we put something in an application only, then we see results of it. Hearing is one thing, but putting those things in an application is the most important thing. Otherwise, there will not be much benefit to the process of hearing. But if you still continue to hear, someday it will manifest. Someday, when we continuously try to hear this instruction again and again, what happens is we will develop a relationship. Actually, naturally, it will happen, and then through that relationship, we will aspire to follow it because we are seeing them. We are seeing our acharyas. They beautifully follow all the instructions. So it gives us an inspiration and motivation so that we can also follow it. Because without inspiration and motivation, nothing will happen in this world. Nothing will happen. Even at office, also they give a lot of inspiration, stating that, oh, let us do this so that this will be beneficial to the patients. We should do this, we should do that. If there's a financial industry, they would say, let us do this so that you'll get bonus. So that inspiration is a material inspiration. What are they telling? You do this, you get this bonus. You try to work on this, then you'll get this kind of a result. So they're kind of helping helping the person to continue. You do this, then you'll get promotion. You do that, you'll get this. That's how the material world is running. So Dhritarashtra is also expecting that his son should win the battle because he's thinking that they only deserve it. Even Duryodhana is convinced that he only should be the king. So a question generally comes to our consciousness that, Arey, why are these people sticking to their seat so hard? Why is these things happening? You see, sometimes people, after ruling for 5 years, MP or whatever he is, it is very difficult for him to leave that. Why? He's thinking that he is. He's completely attached to it. Duryodhana is also thinking that he is the king. Nobody, he's thinking, he's convinced that there is nobody superior to him. This is arrogance, actually. It is completely against the principles of devotional service, of Krishna consciousness. In Krishna consciousness, it will teach us, oh, no, no, this is not the right way. This is the right way. Our attitude should be dasanudas, not boss. We are not we are not here to become a boss. We are here to become a servant. Dasanudas. Because it's only through servitude there is happiness. Because in servitude, what do we have? Giving. We are not taking. Boss means they will take. In serving, what do we have? We want to give. Through that giving, there's a relationship. In taking, what do we get? Nothing. That is the reason in our Vedic tradition, when birthday comes for a boy, the parents will teach him, whoever comes to his home, give prasad to him, give him, feed him, give some gifts to him. But in the Western culture, it is completely opposite. They say, "Can you give me something?" But in our Vedic tradition, what it is means, you give the kid the birthday boy, he will give because since childhood, he's been trained in that way. That in giving there is happiness, dear. You give it, you'll be happy. Don't try to take it. But here, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they are convinced that they should be the kings. There is no mood of giving. That is why even though Vidura telling to Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra so many times, no, you should not do this. This is not bad. But they would never listen to them. They would never listen to Vidura. That's a problem, actually. Without hearing without listening to the superiors, we are actually trying and invite the Maya, material nature, into our consciousness. Material nature is very, very powerful. We cannot come out of this material nature until we take shelter of our spiritual master, of Krishna. Until we take shelter, we will never come out of that. So that is the reason. See here in this shloka itself, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they're lamenting and then they're confused, they're perplexed. But Arjuna also has lamentation. He also confused, but he took shelter of Krishna. Here, Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana, they are not taking shelter of Krishna. You see the difference? That is why people in this world, they will never be happy because nobody is taking shelter of Krishna. Everyone is thinking that they are far better than Arjuna. I don't need any shelter. Duryodhana is also thinking he doesn't need any shelter because Duryodhana, he knows Krishna is Supreme Personality of God. Doesn't he know? He knows. Dhritarashtra also knows that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He knows that this is bad. He knows that I shouldn't do, but still he is doing it. Now a question naturally comes, why is it happening like this? Why, after knowing so many things, still we don't do it correctly? Because of raga. We are devotees because of raga. Because of raga, we don't follow it correctly, and because of raga, we are in a fearful state. Why? Raga means what? Attachment. Why Duryodhana is fearful? Because he's thinking that his attachment will be gone. His attachment is what? Kingdom, property. That's why it's become so pathetic when I hear and then see that people when they're leaving their bodies, oh, so miserable condition that is actually because they're so attached to this body, they're so attached to the property, they're so attached to the family, and then they think that that is everything, and then he is convinced that he's leaving them. He's really convinced. That is unbearable for him. A lot of people would tell, at the time of death, I will remember the Lord and then I'll go back home, back to Godhead. But, okay, that is Krishna is telling at the time of death, you remember me and you'll come to me. That is true. But what are we attaching to all through our life? That is the one which we will remember at the time of death. See, Bharat Maharaj, he he did all his he did his devotional service very nicely, but he was attached to a deer without his knowing. He completely gave it up. And then he was so absorbed. That is also absorption. Mahamanusmara Yuddhacha, where Arjuna is absorbing on Krishna, here Bharat Maharaj is absorbing on deer. Mahamanus, he is absorbing. See, he was not thinking that he'll be attached to the deer. He knows that this world is temporary. He knows everything. Then how come this happened? Such an exalted personality who gave up everything, who goes to the forest, no material things, completely absorbed in spiritual activities, then how come he's been kept in that state? It is only kept in that state. It is not through his will. It Krishna who kept him in that state. Because for pure devotees, Krishna will put them in difficulties because to teach everyone. Arjuna was also kept in difficulty. It is not that Bharat Maharaj is too attached to the deer. Just see how Bharat Maharaj is attached. No, no, it is not to tell that. It is to tell that Krishna has kept his pure devotees in that state. And then just see here, he gave everything up, and then he is in this particular situation, remembering the deer. And then what happened? He became a deer in his next life. Just see, we do not give importance to consciousness actually, but consciousness is everything. Activities, just mere activities will not benefit us. With what consciousness is doing, with what consciousness we are doing is what benefiting us. Very, very important. Because if we closely observe this, he has so much, but he left everything. And now he's attached to a deer. So likewise, if you are thinking that at the time of death I'm gonna remember the Lord and then I'll go back home, back to Godhead, and all through our life we are absorbed materially, then this will not help. Because whatever we are absorbed to that we will remember. Or when we are never alone. We are always alone actually. Even though we are in the midst of so many people, we are alone. How is that? Because everyone has their own thing. Because everyone's consciousness is different. We are dealing through different states. Externally, Duryodhana, he might look very big personality, but internally he's fearful. This is what Prabhupada is saying. Duryodhana is fearful internally. Why? Because he doesn't have a shelter. Because he has attachment. He has attachment, he also has no shelter. Both are important. Attaching, he has attachment, material attachment. He also has no shelter. Because he doesn't know what will happen, if he loses the battle. He knows that he will die, but he's fearful. because there is no shelter. But in the life of a devotee, he is fearless. My dear Lord, no matter in which situation you keep me, I will accept it. This is a conviction which we need to cultivate. More conviction. This is a process actually. We need to really understand that the Lord is my master. Krishna is my maintainer. Krishna is my controller. Because we have seen so many devotees doing that. We see Pandavas. Have you ever seen that Pandavas telling that, oh, why Krishna? Why not this? No, they're always absorbed in that. Have you ever seen that Pandavas complaining, oh, why Krishna? Why me like this? Why you gave me problems and troubles? You should have given me money, this, that. You should have given us property. They're not asking all of those things. They're asking just Krishna. Because they're dealing with Krishna. Their dealing is only with Krishna, nothing else. This is their happiness. Srila Prabhupada, his only intention is to please his spiritual master. His only intention is to please Krishna. No other motive. When it is very clear like this, devotees, then we know what to do, where to go. That's it. So death might come at any time. We will remember that. This I need to understand more and more. Through that, they are fearless. But here, what are they doing? They are fearful. Oh, what's going to happen to me? What will happen to me? Where will I go? How will happen to me? I'm diseased now. Oh, what's going to happen to me? No. You are not that actually. We are not that. This we need to understand more and more. Why? Because if we are this, then we will not change. But we are not this. That is the reason we are changing again and again. We are keep changing. So that's the problem. The problem, we need to address the root. For example, there is boil on the hand and we are putting some ointment. That boil might be gone. But the boil will come again in the other hand, on the other hand. And we put ointment there also, it will be gone. It will come again, it will come again. We need to know the root. The problem is there is some problem in the blood that has to be purified. When the root is purified, everything is purified. Then there are no more issues. So we always need to try and assess the root. Duryodhana doesn't want to do. Duryodhana was being told, you can just give just 5 villages, things will be okay, all right. But he was not thinking, he was not understanding that. He was thinking, Arey, why I should give? This is my property. Arey, they both belong to the same family. No. I deserve it. I can control it. Why should I give it? He doesn't want to give. This is a mood actually. When somebody has an attachment to something, he will not give it. He'll never give it. That's why if somebody says, can you give this? Can you give that? No, they will not give because they are attached to it. Duryodhana is not giving his property because he's attached. That's why he's in a fearful state. Hope you are understanding why Duryodhana is fearful. This is the reason because he doesn't want to give up everything. He doesn't want to give up anything. He wants to have everything to him. It's a problem actually. When one has assets through attachment, then what will happen? This is what will happen. We might have 100K in our bank, but the heart will not be satisfied. Why? Because heart is in a fearful state. Why? Because there is no shelter. Because we don't know where to take, whom to take, how to take. Now we will discuss about where, whom, and how to take the shelter. See, we need to understand we have tried so much in our life. Were we really happy? We were not happy actually. We did so many things. Were we really happy? They would say, you study well in 10th grade. If you're success, then you will be happy. Then they say, okay, next go to intermediate, study there, 12th grade. If you're success, then you'll get an engineering seat or a doctor seat, then you'll be happy. Okay. Then after that, coming to engineering, okay, you study well for next 4 years or doctor for next 5, 6 years, you'll be happy. That is also there. Then after that, you get a job, you'll be happy. That is also there. But there's no happiness. No, no, no. You know, you got the job, right? Now you're settled. Get a home. Okay, home is also there. That is also not giving happiness. Then you do this. You get married. Then you'll be happy. That is also there. That is also not giving satisfaction to the heart. No, no, no. You have kids because you need some engagement. You'll be happy. That is also there. It's not giving happiness. It's not giving happiness. Then kids become grown up. When we become old adults, we become old, right? That is also not giving happiness. Then when do we get happiness? This is the question we need to ask. When do I get happiness? Whenever we turn ourselves towards Krishna, towards the Supreme Father, towards Srila Prabhupada, or beloved Acharya, towards devotees, then we will be happy. We need to cultivate that right attitude. With what attitude I need to see them? How should I turn towards them? Because when Srila Prabhupada came to America, he was trying to give Krishna consciousness. He went to Butler, Pennsylvania first. He was trying to preach there. People are not accepting because they were all following certain notion. They were all following. There's so many churches there. They were all following Christianity. Srila Prabhupada said, this place is not helping because there's not many people here. And then Srila Prabhupada, it was not working out for him over there. And then he says, let me go to New York. And then after going to New York, he found certain sect of people who tried everything, which was not giving happiness. They tried everything, but nothing was working out. Everything they tried. And then to them, they were frustrated. They were not happy. Then Srila Prabhupada came as a grace. When Srila Prabhupada gave Krishna consciousness, immediately they accepted it. How is that they accepted it immediately? It is through his love. It is through his relationship. Because he really was not expecting anything from them, but he wanted to give everything to them. The personality. Then through his association, they all realized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Srila Prabhupada is my beloved spiritual master. And then they began serving him very nicely. And then they realized that this is what is giving happiness. Happiness is not in things, happiness is not in money, happiness is not in sense gratification, happiness is not in any of those things. Happiness is only in this. To know who we are, understand it, follow the instructions of our acharyas, just implementing it in our life. This will give happiness. This is what will give happiness actually, dear devotees. This is what will give happiness to the heart. When we understand this, then more and more we come closer to the process. More and more we try to understand and make progress. Otherwise, whatever Duryodhana is feeling, we will also feel that eventually. If you are not absorbed in the process, you will feel that. Because what was he contemplating? He's trying to figure out the other side of the battlefield. What Pandavas are doing, how many people came, who is there, who is on the other side, whom we have. And then in the next shlokas, we will see how this is revealed. Like how Duryodhana is trying to contemplate, is trying to judge. He'll also judge. He'll also tell you, he will also order that you do this, you do that. because he's in a perplexed state. He's thinking that this will give happiness. This is not giving happiness. He's in a fearful state. The fearful state comes into one's consciousness when we are lacking this. Vita, raga, bhaya. Bhaya means fear. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. Manmana mamupasitaha. When manmana mamupasita comes, then what happens? These things will be gone. Raga, bhaya, and krodha. Raga is attachment. Bhaya is fear. Fear comes through attachment. When these two things are not happening, then krodha comes. When the desires are not fulfilled, that is when krodha comes. When we are not sticking to our attachments, that is when krodha comes. When something is losing, when we do not have a shelter, that is when fear comes. Our shelter is Supreme Lord. Our shelter is our acharyas. That is our only shelter. Because if we closely see Srila Prabhupada's life, he was completely selfless. He was not doing anything for himself. When a person is so selfless, whatever he speaks, whatever he gives, which is so authentic, so bona fide, then naturally when we try to read them, when we try to understand them, naturally that mercy will flow through us, flow to us. That mercy will flow to us. And we become simple minded. Let's say there are some difficult situations in our life. Some problem came in our life. Then how we need to see is, we need to see how our acharyas dealt with those problems. How Srila Prabhupada dealt with those problems. His entire property, his business, it was all gone. What did he do? He took shelter of the Lord. He took shelter of his spiritual master. And he completely accepted it. People devoured his money. They robbed his money. Still he simply accepted it. The only shelter which he had was the typewriter in America, which he was using. That was also taken away. So at every moment, he has so many difficulties. See, Duryodhana has difficulties. Dhritarashtra has difficulties. Arjuna has difficulties. But where they are taking, to whose shelter they are taking, that is what is important. Where are they trying to, what are they trying to do in those difficult situations and circumstances? What Duryodhana is doing through the difficulties, he's trying to figure it out by himself. That is why he's becoming like a politician. Prabhupada says in the purport, he's acting like a politician. That you do this, I will give you this. It's like he gave Karna some property. That's why Karna came and fought with him. Because he was always against Pandavas. He's trying to find some shape or form so that he will use that and then show his enmity towards them. And then when Pandavas are lost, then Karna is happy. That is the intention why he came. And Duryodhana knows that. And then he used that as a game plan, as a strategy, so that this person comes to me. This is what happens, right? In the political world, everyone, they want to pull people towards them. Why? Because they will be victorious. They have no relationship between them. It's all I and mine. That's why this will not give happiness, frustration only. Never it will give happiness. Even in Krishna consciousness, if you are doing it for ourselves, we will never be happy. We will never get satisfaction to the heart because we are all doing it for ourselves. That is also not good. We should do it to please our spiritual master. We should do it to please Krishna. Our chanting, our hearing, our services, everything should be for their pleasure. Nothing for mine. If they are happy, they will give whatever they want. Just like child, what does child do? He would just serve his parents. He has no other agenda actually. That is why simply by serving his parents, he's happy. It's like last week I was there at the store, and there's a small boy, 5-year-old boy. He came with his mother, and then mother is taking tomatoes. So he also started taking tomatoes, helping his mother. And then she's going from there to zucchini, from there to broccoli. She's collecting all those vegetables. And then this child is also helping her mother, collecting all those vegetables, putting on the cart. And I was thinking, this boy is so happy boy. He has no calculations, he has nothing. Whatever his mother is doing, he's not even asking mother, can I help? No, 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 no. In relationship, there is no, he's not even asking that. He's just doing it. It's because they have that relation. That relationship is deep. Prabhupada had that relationship with his spiritual master, with Krishna. It's so deep. He's not seeing anything else. That is what his vision. He's seeing, and then he's doing everything for their happiness. That's it. The child is simply doing it to please her mother, to please his mother. Because he wants to, have that relation. In through service, only relationship comes. Let's say if the mother says that, says to the child, I love you so much. And then the mother is not doing anything, just telling, I love you so much. Or vice versa. Child says to mother, I love you so much, but child is not doing anything. The son is not doing anything. He's an adult now. He's not doing anything. Right? Well, the relationship is there, but it will not be intensified. A relationship is only intensified when we reciprocate, when we give ourselves to that. And this comes through conviction, dear devotees. That's why Prabhupada says the first thing while beginning reading Bhagavad Gita is we need to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that might not be there as a realization. But if one accepts Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, just like it is not like we just accept it. No, 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 no. All the acharyas are accepting it. Arjuna accepted it. All the acharyas, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Lord Chaitanya, everyone, they all accepted. Lord Chaitanya is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. He came as a devotee. Everyone is telling Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada said Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. His spiritual master, everyone in the lineage, they're all telling Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma, right from Brahma, everyone is telling. Are we far more intelligent than Brahma? We are not. Then what we do? We simply accept whatever they say. When a person accepts that, that's what Prabhupada writes in the preface of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada writes that in the preface. When one accepts in this way, then what happens? Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashita. Because knowledge is there, and then now we are putting that knowledge in application, then what happens? Transformation will happen. Science, this is science. Even this is the first class today. It's a practical science. You do this, you get this. That's it. You learn 2 plus 2, then you know it is 4. 2 plus 2 is always 4. 2 plus 2 is never 6 or 8. Likewise, Krishna is always Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even if we accept it or not. If you are accepting, we'll get benefited. If you are not accepting, if we are not accepting it, we'll be the loser. Just like the kid, he will say, oh, mama, I will not study. I will not learn 2 plus 2 is 4. I will do something nonsense. Then he will never learn maths. He will never understand maths. Simple. Krishna consciousness is a simple thing. If we put in action. For this, we require that relation. Just like that mother, the child was just, I was so happy seeing that. I was remembering how the Lord is helping us through so many ways in different situations and circumstances. He's helping us to remember Him. He's helping us to remember our acharyas. How wonderful is this? This is what gives happiness to the heart. And then we get that inspiration. Yes, I should also do. Let me do some service to my spiritual master. That's it. If this thought comes into our consciousness, we are sheltered from the material nature. We are sheltered completely from this material nature. We will be kept in other state. Completely happy. It's no other endeavor, no other desire. Dear devotees, all problems in our life is we desire so much for ourselves. We think a lot about ourselves. अरे क्या होगा मुझे, क्या होगा, वो क्या होगा, ये क्या होगा, अरे क्या होगा? Do we know that we will be born to so and so parents? Do we know that when we will leave this body? Arey, no idea. We have no idea what's happening in this world. I always see this at office. People do not have any idea. I'll tell how. Because there's 10 people discussing in the meeting. One person will say one, the other person will say something else. The third person will say something else. And then the few people who doesn't know anything, they would agree to everything. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Oh, you're right. You're right. Oh, yes, yes, we'll do this. Oh, yes, we'll do. Everyone will say we will do this, we will do this, but nobody will do it. Nobody will do it. They will say, let's do this. Oh, yes, this will be great. We'll do this next year. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Things will not move. Things will not manifest. But here, for the child, he's happily serving because he's feeling that relationship. If we feel that relationship with our spiritual master, with Srila Prabhupada, we will also do great services. We need to feel that. What is that great service? Chant Hare Krishna nicely. What is that great service? Let us hear very nicely. What is that great service? Let us do some little service which is pleasing Srila Prabhupada. That's it. We don't have to open 108 temples. No. Simply just follow what he's saying. That Prabhupada has already done. There are so many exalted devotees who are doing it. Let us try to really understand. If somebody wants to get out of this place, we need to hear very attentively. Very attentively. Cultivate the desire more, and move forward. Otherwise, it will not give satisfaction to the heart. Because heart is a repository where everything is kept. This is the source. Because here the Lord is sitting. He is actually watching what my devotee is doing. He is actually watching when my devotee will come to me. Lord is anxious when all the devotees will come to me. He is anxious. Just like a mother is waiting for his child, Lord is also waiting for us. Please, dear devotees, we don't know when the time will run out. Please. This is urgency. Parikshit Maharaj had 7 days. We don't know whether we will have 7 moments. Very, very important. Hare Krishna. I would like to stop here. If anyone has any questions, comments, clarity, if you want to ask anything or share anything, please do share. Thank you. And through my speech, if I caused any inconvenience to anyone, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to share anything? Praveen Prabhu, Neha Mataji, Manoj Prabhu, Geeta Mataji. Geeta Mataji, hope your health is good.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, it is very good, Prabhuji. Thank you for asking.
Very nice. Thank you.
Prabhuji, thank you for this wonderful class. And I just have a question.
Yes, please ask.
It's out of a little confusion. Is that, we keep saying that that whatever we desire, and especially in our last moment, like through Bharat Maharaj. So how do we know? Because we are householders, we have so many desires. I mean, there's so many desires, right? And we are trying to follow this path also. So how do we know which desire because they say that, the strongest desire is what one gets in the next birth. How,
Correct.
these are theoretical things, but in practical life, how do we know which is the most strongest desire that we need to give up? I don't even know that, of for myself at least.
Hare Krishna, we should give up all material desires, like becoming attached to our properties, becoming attached to money, becoming attached to, you know, activities like, let me do this, let me do some shopping, let me do this. All extra things have to be cut because those are all desires actually. Only through desires a manifestation comes. If a desire is there in the heart, that is when it will manifest as an action. For example, we would see something while going, and then, oh, there is a new store and they're giving discounts. So let us go and buy something. That is not a requirement actually. We can sustain with what we have. So we use that thinking that if I do this, I will get money. I will get happiness. But doing that is actually putting us in entanglement. The knot which is there in the heart is becoming harder and harder. Let's say there is a new iPhone is there in the market. You already have a phone which will work. We go and buy that because that is something new. We think that will give happiness, but these things will never give happiness. Let's say we browse in YouTube or see some videos which is not congenial to Krishna consciousness, which is actually usurping our consciousness, removing, because in that videos they are also enjoying. So that is the reason Prabhupada says we shouldn't watch mundane stuff. What is mundane stuff in this world? Movies and all that stuff. Because wherever we are taking association, that is what those desires we will get. It is practical, Mataji. If we take association continuously on a regular basis, then we develop those desires. We develop the desires of, then we will understand the heart of our acharyas. We will develop those desires very nicely. Initially they will tell you just come to the temple, that's good. But no, we shouldn't stop there. We should move forward. We should move forward. We should try to see how we can progress in Krishna consciousness. Like all of these things should be cut down. Slowly.
So
Should be
Prabhuji,
cut
how
down.
so
Yes.
attachment to property? What should we do? I mean, not attachment. If one has assets, what do? We start giving them away, or what? How does it work?
See, attachments to the properties. Say, for example, if you have 5 homes, one home is required actually. 5 homes, 3 homes, or 7 homes, whatever. Those are not a need or necessity for us. Then what we do? We engage them in the service of Krishna. Then what happens? Because we are realizing more the presence of the Lord. That might happen in this life or might not happen. But I'm telling, these are the aspirations which we need to aspire. Because Mataji, when we continuously understand and see the life of our acharyas, then we will realize these things. Like Srila Prabhupada, if you see his life, he lost everything, but still he was doing his thing. Still he was there. But whatever is necessity for that, we should keep it. Why? Because other than if we do not have that, how do we live? Right? Because we have family, parents, and kids, we have to ensure that kids are educated and all that stuff. We see that. But whatever is extra in the sense, actually there is a rule which Rupa Goswami gives 50%. 50% of our income should be used in the service of Krishna. That is a big thing. But when a devotee is realized, then he will do it. When he is realized, when he really want to follow the instructions of the acharyas, then he'll do it. That's how it begins. 50 might not be 50, at least 5%. Let us begin with 5%, 10%.
Mm.
I
Oh,
might not be at 50,
yeah,
5%, 10%. Because Krishna, he gave us everything, Mataji. He gave us his life.
yeah.
He gave us everything. He gave us, see, we eat prasad every day. Food is digesting nicely. He gave nice family, nice relationships. He gave good devotee association. He gave everything actually. This is little reciprocation actually. And
Right.
then it gives happiness to the heart. Not that Krishna will not reciprocate. I've seen myself in my life. Krishna will reciprocate. When we do that, Krishna will reciprocate. I'll give an example, my personal example. When I started doing this service few years back to my spiritual master as a service, and I started doing this. I was not able to do it 50, but I was doing like 30% or so. Eventually I came to 50, but when I started doing that, without in a blue, there were no raises, there were no hikes at my office. They started giving raises, started giving hikes. They promoted me as a manager at my previous workplace. Oh, things are happening, things were moving so fast. Then I told my spiritual master, my Shiksha Guru, that, oh Prabhu, I started doing this. These are the things which are manifesting.
How nice.
Then he said, Krishna will reciprocate. And he also said one important thing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Is initial relationship. Initial relationship is a place
Prabhu, your
where
voice
we.
was breaking. So could you please repeat again from where you said Prabhu also said this thing, something like that?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you can hear me.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
So what my instructing spiritual master, what he said was, okay, now you gave this, Krishna reciprocated to you. Okay, that's fine. But in the future, when you try doing it continuously, if Krishna doesn't reciprocate, that doesn't mean that Krishna is not reciprocating. Krishna is also reciprocating by not reciprocating. Hope you understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, Krishna's reciprocation is not just only through that race. If Krishna doesn't give race, that is also his reciprocation. So that is deep relationship. What is initial relationship? Initial relationship is Lord will reciprocate. Whatever initially when we came to Krishna consciousness, Krishna will reciprocate. Oh, then they would say, oh, devotees all of a sudden they would comment, oh, Prabhu, you came to the temple, it's so nice, great, wow, amazing. That is actually Krishna reciprocating because Krishna inspired him. Or Vaishnava inspired him so that he is reciprocating in that way. That is initial reciprocation. Then later on, devotees will not bother that much. That is also reciprocation. Krishna is reciprocating in another way now. How? By not reciprocating. Because Krishna wants us to come to the platform of Anyabhilashita Sunyam. Krishna is aspiring us to come to that platform. Anyabhilashita Sunyam. Yes. Initially, Krishna will reciprocate, but later he will not reciprocate. That is also reciprocation. Just try to understand. This is very deep science because until and unless we put some efforts, we will not see results. Even in a material, even at our workplace, just say, let's say you go to office and then say that, oh Krishna, everything is you, I will not do anything. Then they will remove from the office. We should do some reciprocation. We should put some efforts. So likewise, in this process, to the question of Gita Mata's question, how do we deal with the properties? This is how we deal with the properties. How do we deal with our money? This is how we need to deal with our money. Because if that money is there with us, it will give frustration. You see so many millionaires in this world, they become frustrated and then they die. They suicide and then they die. Why? Because there is no happiness in that. Very clearly showing. Pandavas, they didn't had anything, but still they were happy. How are they happy? This is how they were happy. Because they were always seeing the presence of the Lord. Parikshit Maharaj, he ruled this world for this 700 years. And then immediately a small boy, Shringi, out of blue, he came and then he cursed him that you die in 7 days. He accepted it. He could have counter cursed him without any issue, and then nobody would tell anything to him. Oh, why you counter curse this boy? Nobody would tell him, but he could have done that, but no, he accepted it. Because he's seeing the presence of the Lord at every moment of his life. Because although 700 years ruling is also for their pleasure, for not his pleasure. Please try to understand, dear devotees. The more we understand the presence of the Lord, the presence of our acharyas in our life, then we will be able to then we will give up all these things. Because it is this give up also is giving happiness to the heart. It becomes a realization. Again, I repeat. Knowledge without application doesn't give satisfaction to the heart. Again, I say, again, and you should underline this. Knowledge without application doesn't satisfy the heart. If the heart is not satisfied, we will leave this Krishna consciousness. I will repeat this. If the heart is not satisfied, we will leave this Krishna consciousness. The heart has to be satisfied. Otherwise, how can we chant our rounds every day diligently? How can we hear every day diligently? How can we understand and absorb in this process? This is a practical science. Very practical science. This has to be gifted to us. Mere knowledge will not help, dear devotees. We need relationships. We need association. We need Sangha. Now we need to decide where we need to take that Sangha. Very, very important. Very important. Then we will make progress. Then giving up all these things, then at the time of death, we will happily remember the Lord and then go back to his abode. Then we realize, for example, every day if we are thinking about this material nature, every day we are thinking about the spiritual world, don't we get a desire that we have to go to the spiritual world? We will. It will come. It will come naturally. Then it's easy to give up all these things. It's easy. We are not giving up actually. We are actually serving the Lord. That is the right word. You're not giving up these things. We are serving it back to the Lord. Lord has given me. See, if Krishna did not give us intelligence, will we be able to understand all of these things? Let's say if you go to office today, you opened up your Teams, and then you are thinking, "Arey, what should I do?" And you're thinking, "Why am I kept in this situation?" It's a problem. We are not able to understand what we should do at work. Who is giving that intelligence? Krishna. Then the property belongs to whom? Krishna. Then our body belongs to whom? Krishna. Then our mind, consciousness, deha, manasa, deha, geha, jokichumar, whom it belongs to? Krishna. And this we will realize through association. Very important. This is a key. Amma Gita Mataji, did that answer your question?
Very much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for asking such a beautiful, practical question. Hare Krishna.
So it is also said, Prabhuji, that hoarding is bad, right?
What is bad?
Hoarding.
Hoarding.
Keeping more than what you need.
Atyahara prayasasa prajalpaniyam agraha. Yes, you are absolutely right. Raupa Goswami said that. Atyahara, not good. Eating more, keeping more, having more. More is not good. Not good. Are they say everything belongs to the Lord. When we are keeping everything means we want to become lords. That's why we keep. That's why whoever keeps for themselves, they will never be happy in this world. It will give frustration. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, what to your point, yes, we should never keep more. That is why they are, even acharyas, they are like, they are very practical. They said only 50%. It's practical. Because they want to remove us from that propensity to enjoy. They want to remove us. They want to keep us away, kick us away from that nasty stuff, because that is not congenial to the heart. That is the reason why they say atyahara prayasasya. That's the reason, Amma, if we have that relationship, then what happens is naturally we will hear. If we do not have that relationship, we will not be able to understand. Hare Krishna. Is that okay, Amma?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I hope you'll have a better health. And
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you, Prabhuji, for
Hello,
wonderful
Pranav.
explanation. Oh, sorry. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yes, Swamshi Vilas Prabhu, please do.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I just was thinking about the topic today about fear of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra because they're attached to their property. But we also that devotees have fear, like not a bad devotee like me, but exalted devotees also they fear getting attached to material aspect or getting succumbed to Maya. We know that Draupadi was um, going to lose her honor. She was filled with fear. We also know that Ajamil was full of fear when he saw the Vishnu sorry, the Yamadutas. So it looks like fear is there even in devotees. So how can we differentiate if this fear is good versus bad fear?
Thank you, bro. Thank you for question. The fear is also at different states, different levels. The fear which Duryodhana is manifesting here is out of attachment to the material world, material nature, material attachments. And this fear will be very dreadful during the time of death. Because they're not expecting that they will die. But they die. It's a dreadful situation, right? But on the other side, the fear which you're talking about of Draupadi, that is a fear out of dependence. She's completely dependent. She has no other motive or action or anything to do. She's completely dependent on it. That fear is different. And the fear which Ajamila has, that out of his attachment to his son. Because he's thinking that his son, he will not be with his son. But he chanted the names of Lord Narayana, but actually he called his son's name. He chanted his son's name, through which he has seen Vishnu Dutas, but technically he was attached to his son. That fear is also not congenial. That fear is also not good for us. What fear is good for us is, we also need to cultivate one fear. What that fear is, let me not offend Vaishnavas. Let me not take the instructions of my spiritual master lightly. Let me not have like superficial relationship with my spiritual master. This fear is good. And we should fear from this material nature. The material nature is so difficult, so hard. This fear is good. Because when this fear is there, then we know where to go. Just like a child who is fearful, his mom says, the mother would say, oh, you shouldn't go there. That is dark room. You shouldn't go there. He wouldn't go. And then mother will tell, if you do not do this, then I'll put you in dark room. Sometimes she will tell out of love, out of that relationship. Sometimes she will tell. Then he will be vigilant. Oh, if I do not do this, my mother will put me in dark room. That fear is also good, because then he will serve the mother. We should try to come to this platform. And then when we come to this platform, slowly, what happens is, eventually our fear will be transformed completely. That fear will also become transcendental fear. Just like When Aristasur came, the gopis, they were holding the trees very tight. And then they were telling, Krishna, Krishna, please help, please help. They were holding. So they were holding and telling that, Krishna, Krishna, please help. I need to. So they were telling Krishna, please help me. Because that fear is what? That fear is very congenial. Because through fear, where are they going? They are going towards Krishna. They're not saying anything else. They're holding the trees tightly and then they say, Krishna, Krishna, please help. Even Vrijavasis, they also said, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. When the torrentious water was coming, pouring continuously, then they were telling, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, please help me, please help me. Then Krishna helped, lifted that Govardhan hill. That is good, fear. Through fear, where we are going is what important. Because Arjuna was also fearful. He went towards Krishna. Duryodhana is fearful, but he's not going towards Krishna. He's trying to solve that problem through his own endeavor. So likewise, we should also go to our spiritual master. Please help. We should also go to Krishna. Please help. We should also beg for that mercy. Please, please. I really need your association. Please help me in this situation. This is good fear. And this comes, Prabhu, through relationship. I hope I addressed your question.
Yes, thank you very much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful answer. So, what the kind of fear, if we are called to Krishna with the fear, and what is congenial, what is not congenial. Thank you so much for the wonderful answer. Hare Krishna.
Very important, actually. Without that, we are lost, actually. We are completely lost and perplexed. All right. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I think I'll stop here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. It is really wonderful to hear you every time and see you. It's really good, Prabhu. And the takeaway I can say from your class today was no attachments, and at the same time, if we have a good association, that is nothing like it. So, which is very wonderful to have association of the devotees where you stay, where you live, where like how we associate each other in the conference now. So in the temple, so there are so many places where we can associate with each other in a devotee association. That helps. What I think, like, it helps us
Yes,
to
definitely, Prabhu.
correct
Association
ourselves
is a key.
sometimes.
We
Yeah.
need to select. We need to select those. We need to select that association and move forward.
Yes, Guruji. And thank you for your association too. Thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
So
Krishna.
grateful. Thank you.
I know it is too
All
late,
glory-
so I don't want to take your more time. Hare Krishna.
all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Thank you all very much. Srila
Thank you.
Prabhupada ki
Thank you, Prabhu.
jai.
Jai.
Vaisya Kripa Sindhu Vaisa. Patitana Bhavan Vishnu Namo Namah. Thank you all very much.
Ananta Vaishnavinda ki jai.
Jai.
If I caused any inconvenience through my speech, please excuse me.
Srila
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Guru
Jai.
Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
No, Prabhuji, it was so wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol,
Thank you
Hare
again.
Krishna,
Hare Bol.
Jai.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bol.